Hey everyone, are you looking for fantasy football advice? Is your season hanging in the balance? Well, stay tuned. We got all the info you need to dominate your league. Hey everyone, welcome back to Encinas Unfiltered. We are informed, unfiltered, and unmatched. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm or Spotify or Apple, whatever it is that you're listening to us on. We have a membership program, and if you're one of the first 100 members to join that, you will be a part of our Founders Edition. You can thank X for that one. He's the one who brought up with the idea. I think it's a great idea. For 99 cents, you can join us, hop in on our Discord, get fantasy advice. We have betting advice. We have a little bit of everything going on there. They're all separated. And it's not just fantasy football. You got MMA and boxing and just questions. If you have questions for us, you can hit us up on there. But for $1 for the first 100 people, I think it's a great deal. X, what do you think?
Oh, it's 100% a steal. That's better than Black Friday. That's Black Friday coming early.
This is our Black Friday. With the Founders Edition, you'll get our Legend tier membership. You'll have access early to all our episodes, shorts, and to our Discord. We got some holiday merch coming out. You go ahead and look at the link in our description, and you can see all the merch that we have going on. Winter is coming, pun intended for Game of Thrones. But go ahead and check that out. And if you guys are interested, let me know, and I'll go ahead and open up the merch for everybody. All right. In today's episode, we have a little bit of a special episode because the trade deadline finished today. We're recording on a Tuesday. The deadline finished at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So I don't know if I'm going to coin this the trade deadline episode, but we are definitely going to be talking about the trade line because I think there's some big moves that has happened from that. But first, we're going to get into a Week 9 recap. We're going to get into some NFL news. So we're going to look back at some of the games from Week 9, some major events, and just some talking points. Then we're going to get into our Week 9 Boomer Bust for PPR format. So that's our fantasy football portion. We're going to do some Week 10 injury reports. We're going to talk about the teams that have a bye week for Week 10. We're going to do some waiver wire pickups. And then everyone's favorite, the starts and sits. So we're going to do our quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end for Week 10, trade targets. And in that trade target segment, which is X's segment, we are going to be doing some trade deadline talk and kind of talk about, in summary, kind of what happened and those implications of those trades for these teams for the rest of the season. Then we're going to get into our Week 10 football bets. So our money line, over, under, and spread. And at the very end, we're going to get into some hot takes. NFL Week 9 recap. So the last time, I don't know if you knew this. So the last time all teams have had 2 losses was in 2010. And I think before that was like 35 years. It's only happened twice or something like that, or 3 times. I forget. But so usually there's somebody with 0 losses, 1 loss. It's only the first time in a while since 2010. Every single team has had at least 2 losses in the NFL. Lamar's back. So if you guys watched the Thursday night football game, he looked good. He looked real good. And Miami is dysfunctional. That's the only way I can put it. They are very dysfunctional. They're not looking so good. I think they just fired their GM. So I guess that's a W, but they didn't fire the coach. So that's something to keep an eye on. Jaden Daniels got hurt. He's probably out for the season. So that one kind of hurts for all those Jaden Daniel owners. Tucker Kraft tore his ACL. And Mikal Williams, Niners' #1 pick, also tore his ACL at MetLife. And as everybody knows, the MetLife is a curse for the ACLs. They are the ACL snatchers, if you would say. And I know X would love to just go on a rant here about turf and how
we're not on the hot takes yet.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there, boys. Next, the Steelers beat the Colts, and I think that's a very important one to highlight because I think a lot of people actually had the Colts winning that one. And it'll segue later into our hot takes whether we think the Colts are pretenders or contenders. And I think we'll save that for that. The Vikings upset the Lions. I mean, not overly surprised. I mean, surprised, but not crazy because it is a divisional game. Anything can happen. But that was still a very good game, 27-24. The Bills beat the Chiefs. And I believe X is the one who called that from last week. So nice call on that one. Bills are great during the regular season against the Chiefs, and you hit that right on the nose.
Lose in playoffs.
Right. And the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Monday Night Football. Oh, man.
Wild.
I'm going to have to just directly address our boy Angel here. He's our resident Cowboys fan. I don't think it really matters what the Cowboys do at this point. I think that they're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, we do have a lunch bet on that, but there's no way. There's just no way. You guys are done, dude. Like, anyways, I'll just leave that in there for the clickbait. All right, we got Week 9 Boomer Bust PPR format, of course. So I know some of these guys on here might surprise you. They kind of surprised me when I was doing them. The QB booms for the week: Caleb Williams, 38.7 points.
Wow.
Yeah. Joe Flacco. No
Becoming a
surprise to
regular.
you. 32.7 points. Josh Allen, 28.82 points. And Justin Herbert at 28.7 points.
Sounds about right.
The bust. Now, this is my favorite part because I always like to bring up your guys' quarterback.
I know.
Not just your quarterback, but some quarterbacks that you've liked, throughout the years, I guess I like to say. Bust. CJ Stroud, 4.36 points. Obviously, he got hurt, but he wasn't really doing anything. Let's call a spade here. He was not playing very well in that game.
It's still
Ward.
possible. It's still possible because Jalen Hurts, I had him for 2 years, and every single time he does 11 points, and then come the second half, third, fourth quarter, that boy just puts up 36. I don't know how.
Well, CJ's out for a bit, probably. He's on concussion protocol. So, Cam Ward, a regular in these bus sections, 6.4 points. Tua, not really a surprise. He has a good game and a bad game here and there. 9.54 points. And Patrick Mahomes at 11.5.
That's
Patty
surprising.
did not have a great game. Yeah, he's been the number one fantasy quarterback. All right, but next we're gonna get into boom. Hey, your boy's a regular on here. Christian McCaffrey, 34.3 points.
We all know it.
You better start knocking on some wood.
We all know it. Oh, I'm not going to. I got Brian Robinson, so I'm all.
So do I. But Rico Dowdle, 27.1 points, and that's your boy. He is for sure the number one guy now. They gave him that start, and he produced. Kyle Moynigue, I don't know if I pronounced his name right.
This fucking guy.
Did I say it right or no?
I don't even care if you did, dude. He was the whole reason why you beat me this week.
Hey,
I didn't expect that guy to do that, man.
Hey, there's a reason why I started him. I had faith. 22.8 points. I started him in every league that I had him in. And then Josh Jacobs at 20. That was a weird game. That was a really windy game.
Yeah, that one was.
Bust. So this is this one hurt the soul a little bit. Alvin Kamara, 0.7 points. Chuba Hubbard, not surprised, 1.7 points. He was a backup.
In the backup role.
Woody Marks, 2.7 points. Ooh, that one makes me feel good. Just a little bit, just a little bit. That one makes me feel real good. And then Kamani Vidal, 3 points. That was a shocker there. All right, boom. Drake London, man, he's had some games. He's the only guy there, so I guess it makes sense.
I'm still not buying into it yet, but he's still on my do not draft list, but I don't know.
He's dependent on Penix. It's honestly if Penix can get him the ball or not. So it's not him as a receiver. I think if he was on another team, he'd do great. So Drake London, 38.8 points. T. Higgins, 33.1 points. Devontae Adams, 23 points. And DJ Moore, 22.98 points. And he threw a touchdown pass.
That's the only time we're going to see DJ Moore this year.
Probably. Bust, Rome Odunze, 0 points. DK Metcalf, 2.6 points.
Ooh,
Keon Coleman, 3.7 points. And Xavier Worthy, shout out to the boy, local boy, 6 points. That one was tough. Next we're gonna get some tight end boom. Let me fix myself. This one hurt my soul a little bit because I didn't start him. I started Tyler Warren, and this is how it ends up. Brock Bowers, 43.3 points. Probably the best game he's going to have all year. Colston Loveland, another guy who's going to have the best. This is his best game all year. 29.8 points. Dalton Kincaid, 22.1. And Sam Laporta, 21.7. All right. Bust. Evan Ingram. Man. Nada. Zip. Zilch.
Goose egg.
Tucker Kraft. 4. Of course, he got hurt towards ACL, but still 4.
That's
George Kittle, 6.9.
I love to see the boy in there.
And Tyler Warren, 7.6 points. So those are boomer busts for week 9. Next, we're going to get into our week 10 injury report. There was a lot, man. This one, a lot of these hurt my soul a little bit. Like I said, we have Tucker Kraft, ACL. He's done. Jaden Daniels. His I think it was his left arm.
Nasty. That was nasty.
I'm pretty sure he's done. I just put indefinite, but I'm pretty sure he's done. Mikal Williams, like I said at the top of this, ACL, he's done. He has the MetLife curse. Puka Nacua, his ribs, he didn't come back, but he should be okay. Yeah, he should be back. He should be okay. Cole Kmet, now he has a concussion. It's not just his back. So this is concussion. Matthew Golden, his shoulder. CJ, CJ was doing the old Tua. He had a concussion. I don't think he's going to play this week. Travis Hunter, his knee's on IR. Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, that one sucks. Brian Thomas Jr. his ankle. I don't know if he's going to play. Joe Alt's out for the season now. And we'll get into that.
Sucks,
that blows,
dude. That one sucks.
Especially for Herbert and the Chargers.
I like Joe a lot, dude. He's such a good tackle. Oh.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, his shoulder. He just got back. That sucks. Keyshawn Boutte, hamstring. Christian Gonzalez, head. That's a Patriot safety, very good. Luke McCaffrey, brother of Christian McCaffrey, shoulder. He's done for the year. That was a pretty nasty one as well. And Marshawn Lattimore, his knee. So I don't know if he's going to be back this season either. But
that's crappy.
Some pretty big names, I would say, got hurt. A couple quarterbacks. It's never good to see. Some good, important defensive players, offensive players.
Good tight ends.
Yeah, it's, it's unfortunate. But NFL, I'll let X get into that later with how he feels about all this turf and stuff. But really quickly, we're going to get into some Week 10 buys. There's only 4 teams this week. Granted, it might be some teams, mostly 75% of them are probably fantasy relevant. One team, maybe not. Cincinnati Bengals are on a bye week. That sucks. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Flacco, Chase Brown. Dallas Cowboys. If you're like the boy Angel, he has his whole team as the Cowboys, so he is a guaranteed loss this week. Kansas City Chiefs. That's a tough one if you have Kareem Hunt, Patrick, Kelsey, or Rashee Rice. Or I guess Worthy too. You throw him up there. And Tennessee Titans. Meh.
They'll find a way to lose to the bye week. Only they can do it.
Sucks for the people that picked up DK.
I have the utmost faith that I think they could do it. I think they can.
Oh man, it's been a rough one for you guys. I will say that, but either way, I digress. All right, waiver wire pickups for Week 10. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces, especially in the quarterback position. And I've been noticing this a lot. Is that I've been telling people every week to pick up these guys, and they're still not rostered in all these leagues because you can see. And it's I think at this point you probably should roster him. Number 1, Matthew Stafford. Come on, that guy's throwing bombs to his receivers.
To be fair,
last time
To be fair, Matthew Stafford is super inconsistent. Super inconsistent.
I think it's matchup based, and I think though now with
there's been times
against San Francisco
where I've watched him lose somebody a game. 100%. They've lost a week because of him. So
now you're look him up.
Personally, I would be very careful.
So his worst week was with Baltimore. So his first 3 weeks were kind of meh, and then his last bad game was against Baltimore. But against Indiana, he put up 27.4 points. San Francisco, he did 25.56. Jacksonville, he did 27.38, and then last week he did 26.84. So he's been on a pretty
but
decent...
here's the consistency. 18, 23, 20, 37, 33, 12, 31. He's due a 12-point game. I think this is going to be the one.
I don't think he does against Niners. I think he does very well.
Yeah, maybe not, but
maybe next week. But either way, I think Matthew Stafford is very good. Obviously, like I say with a lot of these waiver wire guys, is that it's going to be matchup based anyways. And I think he has a really good matchup against San Francisco, so I really like it. He did really well. San Francisco's hurt. It's a great start. Sam Darnold's another guy. He just destroyed the Commanders. He did really well in the first half, and then he kind of eased up, in my opinion. But he's another one of those guys that's been very consistent. They just traded for Rashid Shaheed, and I know people are Rashid is a very good fast receiver. I think he's going to be their number 2 guy now, so I kind of like him there.
We'll see how that one goes.
Well, I really like him there. And then Jacoby Brissett, I think now with the fact that Kyler might be out for 4 to 8 weeks now is what it's sounding like. Jacoby Brissett did very well, especially against Dallas. I think that's a must pick up. And then JJ McCarthy. So he's a weird one. Wentz is out, so there's nobody going to take over his role, I think, at this point, unless he gets hurt. But JJ has shown flashes that he can get the ball to Justin. He did that last week against the Lions, which I think was a very tough matchup for him. It's a divisional game. He did very well. They won. And he has rushing upside. So I think I really like him there. He might not be a bad snag depending on matchup. Next, I want to get into some of the running backs. So obviously, we've kind of been talking about him as Kyle Mooney. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but Kyle, he's the backup for DeAndre Swift for the Bears. He had a crazy game this past week. I don't know if he repeats that, but if he's starting, I think you absolutely got to pick him up and play him, especially with bye weeks happening. Yeah. Kareem Hunt, he's the starter with Pacheco out. I think he's a great start. So this is some deeper league ones, or this one is a deeper league one. It's Chris Rodriguez. He's the running back for the Commanders. He was, I think, like the third guy on the totem pole, but he's always been very good and has had flashes here and there. But Bill or Jacoski Merritt, X dropped him in our league, but he hasn't really been doing so well. So because of that, that might be somebody to monitor. You know, if you're in your 10 or 12 man league, I don't think you should pick him up. But if it's more of like a 14, 16, kind of those deeper leagues, then you might consider grabbing him, or maybe for like dynasty purposes. And then every week I talk about Tajay Spears. If you don't have him, pick him up. He's doing a lot better than Tony Pollard is right now. So I think you should add him if he is available in your league. At receiver, I got Torrey Horton. And if people are like, who's Torrey Horton? That is a rookie for Seattle. Now they have Rashid Shaheed, but he got 2 touchdowns last week. It's just someone to monitor. Might be like a nice little flyer, someone you put on your last spot on your bench and say, hey, maybe this guy becomes the guy in the second half of the season. Might not be a bad pickup. Earlier, we talked about Kayshon Boutte being hurt. Well, Demario Douglas kind of stepped into that role and was a good red zone threat. So he's someone to look at. This next guy I really like a lot, and that's Alec Pierce. I know you were talking about him actually last week. He's starting to become a little consistent, and that Colts offense doesn't make sense. I can't tell you why Daniel Jones is having a lot of success, but he is. Something's going on there. They're doing very well, and I think he's a good, maybe a flex for like a bye week fill-in, and I think you can start him confidently. And the last guy, Alamide Zacchaeus, he is the receiver for the Bears, and he's actually, I think, like receiver 4, but I don't know what happened last week. Rome was just putting up a big donut, couldn't get anything going. He had like 3 targets, no catches, and this guy stepped in and kind of handled it. So in your deeper leagues, I would definitely keep an eye on that and see what's going on with Rome if it continues every week. Next at tight end, Mark Andrews, my boy, he's back. End of the season. It happens every year. We always talk about it. Guy got 2 touchdowns on 3 receptions. Obviously, so his numbers are inflated. But with Lamar back, that is Lamar's safety net, and Isaiah Likely really hasn't been a thing this year. So I really like him going forward, especially as the Ravens make their playoff push. Dalton Schultz is another guy. He's for the Texans, especially with CJ out. Davis Mills is going to look for that safety net. Dalton Schultz might be a good pickup on matchup to matchup basis, depending on how long CJ is gone. Jawan Johnson, we talked about him last week. With Tyler Shuck now starting quarterback, he has a lot more upside, and that offense is going to be doing a little bit better, in my opinion. So I really like him this week, or in general. And then Theo Johnson. So Theo Johnson is the tight end for the New York Giants. He's a safety net, but he's being used as more as like a red zone target for Jackson Dart. Now that Jackson Dart doesn't have Cam Scatterbo, he looks a lot for Theo Johnson there in the end zone. So he's definitely your touchdown dependent type of tight end if you absolutely need to. I have him in a 14-man league, so that's why I threw him on there. Defense, I think this is pretty straightforward, honestly. I like Denver. They're playing against Las Vegas. I think that's a no-brainer. I got Seattle. They're playing against Arizona. Even though Arizona did well, I just think Seattle is just a better team in general, so I think they're going to have a great matchup. Buffalo, they're playing against Miami. I mean, Buffalo gets weird, right? It's like one of those teams that always plays down to their competition. But I like them against Miami. I don't think Tua is going to go crazy on them. So I think it's going to be a decent week for them. And then Houston against Jacksonville. I think with all the injuries that Jacksonville has, that's really going to hurt their team. So Houston's been like a top 7 defense this year in fantasy. So I think you are comfortable with starting them this week against Jacksonville. Let's get into some starts and sits. All right, starting at quarterback, I got Jackson Dart at Chicago, and I got Bo Nix at Las Vegas. Jackson Dart's the top 5 quarterback this week. You can go look at your projections, but also I just think with his rushing upside, he's getting a lot of fantasy points, and he's looking good. He's just looking good. Obviously, we like him with Cam Scatterbo better. Chicago, I mean, they had a high-scoring game with the Bengals last week. So, right? The Bengals, they played the Bengals last week? Yeah. So I think Jackson Dart should be able to do that as well with Chicago. And Bo Nix, I mean, here's the thing. Bo Nix has a really great schedule right now playing against Las Vegas. I think that's an easy dub for the Broncos. But when it comes to playoffs, it's going to look a little not so good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we'll get into that later. But the Las Vegas Raiders are an absolute mess. I would say it's between them and Tennessee Titans for me about who's the two worst franchises right now in football, playing wise. And I just think you have a great matchup. And if you have them, you start them. I mean, there's very few quarterbacks I don't think, unless it's like a Lamar, a Josh Allen, maybe a Jalen Hurts, maybe. I don't even know if I would go that far. I just think Bo Nix is a really great matchup this week, and I think you should start him against a really bad Las Vegas team. And then sitting, you're going to sit T-Law against Houston. I mean, T-Law, he lost all his weapons, man. And I mean, I really think that's it.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have a tough matchup against Houston. And Jordan Love. So, my wife is not going to like this one. But Jordan Love against Philly. Philly's really good. And I know you're going to talk about them later, but they've beefed up that defense a lot in this trade deadline. And Jordan Love has not been playing good, man. He is, I don't know what's going on with him, but they're playing bad. Their offense looks terrible. Their defense is looking okay. So I just don't think he has a great matchup. And I think Philly's going to just go ahead and handle them this week. X, who you starting at quarterback this week?
So starting at quarterback, I got the boy Caleb Williams going against the Giants. The Giants are still trash. I mean, yeah, their offense is starting to do good. That's great. But guess what? Their defense still sucks. It doesn't change anything when they end up going against good teams, which unfortunately the Bears are a good team. You know, as much as we like to talk crap about them, they are a good team. Their offense is starting to get it down. They're starting to find identities at the running game. So Caleb Williams should have a good game. And if it is a shootout, then that's even better. Next, you're going to start Aaron Rodgers against the Chargers. The Chargers are just absolutely injury riddled. They're probably tied with San Francisco in how many injuries they have. And it is so crappy. And it sucks because they have such potential to be a good team if healthy. But unfortunately, the cards just aren't dealt that way. So Aaron Rodgers and that offense should have a good time. Sitting, I know you said to start him, but I'm telling you to sit him. Is Jackson Dart against Chicago. The reason why I'm saying that is because of the ball hawk back there, the boy who's, if not leading the league in NFL, if not tied with the NFL, is the ex-Titan Kevin Byard. He's back there getting picks left and right. And that boy is going to have a field day coming with that rookie quarterback. He's about to teach him what it's like. I don't like this matchup. The Giants have a messy way of playing football. They're just either absolutely atrocious or they make these weird comebacks. And then, I don't know, they're just a messy team that I can't really trust. Next, you're going to sit Daniel Jones against Atlanta. That might surprise some people. Atlanta is weirdly starting to find their groove a little bit. The record might not show it, and sometimes their gameplay might not show it. But if you watch their games, they're normally in those games majority of the time. So Daniel Jones is coming off a rough little bit in last week. And I think, in all honesty, as the season is going on, he's starting to get figured out. So we're going to start to watch the even out of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I think that's fair on that last one. Next, we got running back. Starting at running back this week, I got Jaylen Warren at the Chargers. Jaylen Warren's been consistent, man. I think he's a must start every week, I think, at this point. And I know a lot of people grabbed Kenneth Gainwell when he had those like 1 or good 2 weeks when Jaylen Warren was hurt. But Jaylen Warren's the guy. He's being very consistent. And like X said, the Chargers have a really banged up defense right now. So I think it's a must start. And I think you can start him very confidently. Next, you're going to start Rico Dowdle versus New Orleans. Rico, man, ever since, I mean, we saw it when Chuba Hubbard got hurt, where he put up all those points and looked really good. And then we had a weird 2-week period where he was split carries with Chuba. But now I think Carolina was like, look, our best shot to win is to put Rico in the starting spot. And that's what they did. And I think you can start him against anybody. I think that's how well he's doing. But this week they're playing against the Saints, and the Saints are just not good. They traded away a lot of players. And I mean, I don't know what their plan is, but use that for Rico Dowdle owners, use it to your advantage and start that boy. Sitting, Man, this is a tough one. I think this is like one of the few guys that are still left on this team. You got Breece Hall versus Cleveland. You saw Sauce leave this week. You saw Quentin Williams leave this week.
Trust me,
Breece
dude,
Hall
we'll get
wants
there.
out.
We'll get there.
Garrett Wilson wants out. Man, yeah. So you got Breece Hall. You're going to send him against Cleveland. It's not a great matchup. Cleveland's offense is trash, but their defense is great. One thing Cleveland knows how to do is build a defense, and you got to give them that, right? You got to give them that one thing. So it's not a good matchup for that offense in general. And we don't even know if Justin Fields is going to be a quarterback. And if he is, he's going to take a lot of those rushing opportunities anyways. So I don't like that. And then you're actually going to sit Kimani Vidal versus Pittsburgh. And I know this is going to be a weird one for some people. I just didn't like that 3-point game that he put up in fantasy last week. And it kind of has me on the side of caution. And Pittsburgh's defense has shown vulnerabilities, but when TJ Watt is on, their defense is very good. And I just don't like that matchup for him, specifically in the running game. So because of that, I would say sit him. And if you have another option, then do so. X, you got starting at running back this week.
So starting at running back, we got the boy Mangani or whatever his name is. And
just like Kyle.
I put it, I put in Swift just in case if he does play. I still think it's a good matchup regardless. Against the Giants for all the reasons that I said that you should be starting Caleb Williams. If it is a shootout of a game, I think it's going to be a shootout in the sense that the scores will be close, where the running backs will still be used, not a blowout to where it's just constant passes. And even if it is, Chicago likes to throw to their backs. So you're not really losing out as much there either. Next, I think Kamara is going to have his bounce back game against Carolina.
Let's hope.
That's trust me, I hope so because I just traded for that boy in the league. Anyways, so Kamara should have a bounce back game against Carolina. Carolina, they are still a crappy team. It's not changed. New Orleans is starting to find a little bit of a pass game. Olave's starting to do a little bit more. So, it goes back to one of those things again where we need to start feeding the running backs again. And I think Kamara should be fed this game. Sitting, you're going to sit Nick Chubb against Jacksonville. Houston is rough right now. They are squeaking out wins and doing weird things and sacrificing goats to whatever gods, the football gods, whatever it is. I don't know. They're pulling out some weird wins. They're kind of like the Giants. They're playing some ugly football and they're still pulling out weird wins. Jacksonville, I think, especially a division game nonetheless, I think Jacksonville is going to kind of, even it back out. Jacksonville, I feel like will shut down that offense.
Would you add Woody Marks to that list as well? Like a Nick Chubb / Woody Marks, since they're splitting?
Yeah, I guess since they are a committee. Yeah, I would say that.
I was just curious.
Next would be, I guess, Henderson and
Ramondre.
What's his name? Ramondre. I would say sit them against Tampa Bay. I feel like Tampa Bay has a bounce back game. Tampa Bay's defense isn't always the best. However, their offense is very explosive and very high powered, even with the injuries. I feel like they figure it out against New England.
Next, we're getting into receiver. At receiver, I know this is a bigger name, but he's not like one of the top 3 guys now, so I had to throw him in there. I really like Devontae Adams at San Francisco this week. You'll notice a trend with how I'm talking this week. I'm just very negative about the Niners. I think Devontae's going to have a great game. Puka's a little banged up. He's going to play. Like, it's fine, but I think just San Francisco's so hurt right now that you absolutely have to expose them, and their biggest weakness is in the air. If it's not one-on-one coverage with Lenore, I mean, everybody else is kind of just letting the balls go through. I mean, the Giants were able to score on the Niners last week as well. But it wasn't too difficult for them. So I think Devontae has a hell of a game, especially if Puka's still a little banged up. They might want to more focus Devontae. And then you're starting Michael Pittman against Atlanta. And, I'm finally a believer. It's taken me some years to kind of bring Michael Pittman back to my list. But I think X and his boy over there kind of finally made me feel a certain type of way. Also, I think he's like 5 or 6 fantasy ranked receiver this year. So even though Atlanta does have a good defense,
Yeah, I said he's doing really good.
Yeah. Even though Atlanta's defense has been pretty decent, I mean, Daniel Jones is figuring out a way to get the ball to his receivers, and obviously he has Jonathan Taylor, so that might be a big role in that too. I mean, because everyone's afraid of the run. So I really like him this week, and I think he has a great matchup. And I think you should probably start Pittman every week if given the opportunity to. Sitting, you're going to notice another trend here. I'm sitting Garrett Wilson against Cleveland. I think it's for reasons that I talked about Brees Hall. Cleveland's a great defense. Jets, I mean, if it's Tyrod or if it's Justin Fields, I don't really think that's very viable for the receiver position. Garrett Wilson hasn't really been doing good this year, and I think he's still a little banged up. So that's just something to monitor, but I don't like that. And before I knew, well, we technically don't know if Brian Thomas is going to play or not, so I put Brian Thomas on this list. He's playing against Houston. I mean, he would technically be the number one receiver, Travis Hunter. Well, I guess he is the number one receiver, but Travis Hunter's out. He's
Yeah.
just not having a good year, man. I mean, even if he plays, just that offense in general is not doing so hot right now. So it's a really bad matchup for him. So I would say stay away from him if possible. X, who you got starting at receiver this week?
So starting at receiver, I actually got AJ Brown going against Green Bay. I would start him against Green Bay. Green Bay is in disarray. I don't know how they lost at all last week, but whatever. We're not going to get into that. Green Bay's defense, unfortunately, is even with the addition of Micah Parsons, he has not been able to remedy what their secondary seems to lack for whatever reason. As much pressure as he does get, Green Bay just, unfortunately to me, their defense is way too vulnerable. Jalen Hurts is mobile, so I think these wide receivers are going to have a field day with the secondary. Also, you're going to start Jordan Addison against Baltimore. This is one of those little gut feeling type ones. Addison has had a couple bad games recently, and as Addison does in Addison fashion, he likes to pop out with some nice 30s. And I feel like this is going to be the game. Baltimore as well. Obviously, Swiss cheese defense. So they're going to find a lot of holes. They're going to be able to do what they need to do. And I think Addison and, obviously Justin Jefferson's going to have a good game. Sitting, you're going to sit a Dunze against the Giants. Yes, the boy put up a nice fat goose egg for the boys. Probably lost some people some games this week when we're hitting close to, we're starting to set up that playoff push. So that's unfortunate right now. He does not seem trustworthy enough. DJ Moore had a great game. I feel like Caleb Williams loves to spread the ball a little too much and doesn't really care too much for Dunze in some weeks. And I think this is going to be another week of that. Next, you are going to sit McMillan going against New Orleans. I feel like New Orleans is going to be feeding Kamara this week. And so I feel like there's not going to be a lot of opportunities. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game to where McMillan is going to get a lot of usage. Now that Dowdle is solidifying himself as the running back, they should, and if they see the trend and if they actually listen to me when I talk, if they stick with the run, they will win. So I don't think for the sheer fact that I don't think that McMillan will get a lot of targets, and I don't think he's just in a really good situation. It's not really a guy I would want to start this week.
That's interesting. I think it's going to be a good game. It's a divisional game. I haven't decided who I'm going to go with yet. Bryce Young didn't look good, but I mean the Packers defense, people are doubling Micah. That's what I'll say. So that's why Micah hasn't been popping off, but I'm interested to see that game because both these teams are not very good, but I think with Carolina might have a little momentum with that win against Green Bay on their side. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game. Next, we got tight end. Starting at tight end, I got Sam Laporta against Washington. So Sam Laporta has been doing pretty good as of late. I know he's kind of been weird, like he had a good rookie season, not so good sophomore season, and then this season's been kind of up and down. But Jared Goff is really finding that safety net for him. Commanders are in disarray, man. They lost their starting quarterback. Scary Terry's out. Debo's been kind of like irrelevant for the most of the season. Their running game's kind of sucking. Luke McCaffrey's out for the season. Like, they just have a lot of things not going against them. So I think Jared Goff is gonna get the ball to Sam Laporta, and Sam Laporta is gonna do what he needs to do. He gets a lot of yak, and I think that's what's gonna happen in this game. And then you're gonna start Dalton Kincaid at Miami. We kind of talked about it earlier when I mentioned Josh Allen. I think I heard the Bills in general. I forget what I did, but Dalton Kincaid, he was actually on our sit list last week. So I want to apologize for if I was the one who said that. I do not recall. I'll do that now. But Josh Allen used him. So what do you got to do? You use that momentum and you start that boy. Miami has a Swiss cheese defense. Talk about the Ravens. Talk about Miami
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And they just gave up some guys in the trade deadline. So I think you can start Dalton Kincaid pretty comfortably this week. You're sitting Jonnu Smith. I think this is probably X's favorite tight end in the world. Doesn't make sense. And I don't know why, but he loves the boy Jonnu Smith.
He was.
Oh, he's not no more. Oh,
anymore.
I'm sorry. I take that back. Okay. I apologize. I
It
apologize
was
to you
Darren
too.
Waller, but then Waller got injured.
Well, John, X is biased with Titans players, but John used to be on the Titans. But anyways, he's on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers kind of throws the ball where he can at this point. Sometimes it's Freiermuth, sometimes it's Jonnu, sometimes it's Roman Wilson, sometimes it's DK. As you saw last week, DK didn't do so well. But playing against the Chargers, even though the Chargers have a bang-up D, he's just not consistent, man. And I know a lot of people still have him as their tight end too and might consider using him for their bye weeks. Don't do it. Just look somewhere else. There's better options available on the waiver. And then AJ Barner. So AJ Barner, he's playing against the Cardinals. It's a divisional game, but AJ Barner is in that weird situation where he can have a really big boom game or he's going to have a really big bust game. And I think with playoffs and you if you're on not going to make playoffs and you're like, hey, I need to try to like boom or bust options at this point, go for it. But I think for me, I just think there's better options on that waiver wire than AJ Barner this week, especially with the fact that it's just due simply to usage and him getting targets right now. So I would sit that boy. X, who you starting at tight end this week?
Starting at tight end, I got the boy Pitts again. Pitts going against Indianapolis. I feel like this game is going to be, I don't know, this game to me, sometimes I feel like when I talk about the game, sometimes I feel like it's going to be a shootout. Then other times I feel like it's just going to be a run fest with Jonathan Taylor and Bijan. So I have confidence in Kyle Pitts. I think these little play actions with Bijan being able to run all over the Colts defense, I feel like Pitts is going to find a lot of open pockets for Indianapolis, but we will get to that Indianapolis defense a little bit later. Next, we're going to start the boy Mark Andrews going against Minnesota. I feel like Mark Andrews continues the cycles, boys. But after this one, mark my words, after this one, he's gonna tank. He's gonna do what Mark Andrews does, right? What Quinton Johnston does every time. He likes to hype you up so you waste a waiver wire pick, and then all of a sudden he goes to crap. So this will be the last week for Andrews going against Minnesota. I feel like this game could be a shootout. Sitting, you're gonna sit Juan Johnson going against Carolina. This is the battle of two horrible teams. And you know what happens when that happens. Things get cringy. Things get awkward. You get secondhand embarrassment. You wonder how these people are even professionals. So I feel like that's going to be the game for Juan Johnson. I feel like he's not going to do a whole lot. Like Rod said, there are better waiver wire pickups this week. Then this one sucks.
Oof.
This one sucks. I know.
Oof.
You're going to sit the boy Gadsden.
Oh, no.
Going against Pittsburgh. Why am I saying this? Why? Why would you wish that upon him? It's for the simple fact Joe Alt is gone. Joe Alt, that offensive line is absolutely decimated with injuries. Herbert is not going to have enough time to be able to go through his progressions. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, then wouldn't that be the best situation for Gadsden, right? Because the tight end's a safety net. No, that's not going to be the case. He's not even going to have time to get through his progressions to even get to Gadsden. Worst case scenario, we're hoping for a good game for Vidal at best to get those little PPRs. But Gadsden, unfortunately, I think this is where his nice little rookie streak comes to a stop just for at least a week.
Man, that's bold. That's real bold. I don't know. Hey,
trust
you know
me,
what?
I don't like
The Chargers
it, dude. I'm
just traded
starting
for
him.
Chargers just traded for a guy, and he's pretty decent.
Look, dude, we'll get into that. I'll start breaking that
okay.
down. I'll start breaking that
All
down.
right. We'll see. All right. Next, I want to get into some defense, and just a reminder: we don't have a graphic for defense. So, because I already got like people are like, "Why do you do? There's no graphic." I don't understand. There's no graphic for defense. It's just that's an executive decision on my part. You're mad at anybody? Be mad at me. All right. Starting at defense, kind of talked about it earlier. Denver versus Las Vegas. It's pretty no brainer. I mean, this is like a gimme, right? I mean, Las Vegas is ass, as Cam Ward likes to say, because I'm quoting, so I can't get demonetized on that. And Geno Smith is ass. So because of that, great matchup. Houston versus Jacksonville. Already talked about it. Houston's actually a sneaky top 7, I think is what I saw, defense. And Jacksonville is decimated with injuries. So I think you have a really good matchup there, even though both our offenses are going to be kind of boo-boo this week. It makes for great fantasy points on defense. Sitting, I'm sitting Pittsburgh, and that's a weird one for me because, they've had a couple weeks where they've been really bad. But even though, Herbert might not have time to run through his progressions and Vidal might get stuffed, I just don't like the fact that Herbert is capable of absolutely just bombing that defense. So because of that, I would err on the side of caution and maybe not start Pittsburgh this week. And then you're going to sit San Francisco versus the Rams. I don't know if people are actually have San Francisco, but the last time I checked the roster, how many teams rostered him in the leagues, there's quite a bit. So because of that, it's not a good matchup. Do not start them against the Rams. I think they're going to get absolutely shredded. So please stay away from that. X, you got starting at defense this week.
So starting at defense, we got Detroit going against Washington. I'm taking a bold little stand here. Washington, they are getting back Mariota, which there is a Washington Redskins fan at work that they're the Redskins. Anyways, so there is a fan of them at work, and so every time during the passerby, I like to make my little comments, make my little jabs, and kind of pick the mind of their fan base. And he's saying that he absolutely loves Mariota over Jaden Daniels, honestly, which is crazy to me. But his reasoning is that Mariota is a game manager. He's a time manager. He's not looking to make anybody shine. He's just there to do his job. And so as much as I do like that, sometimes you need to take those big shots downfield. And I think Detroit has a high-powered offense to where they're going to probably push Mariota to see what he could do. And I'm not sure if Mariota is going to be able to step up to that. Terry McLaurin's also injured. They have no receivers right now. Their running backs are in disarray. Their offense is just struggling right now. Next, you're going to be starting the Rams against San Francisco. Why are you going to be doing that? Well, I'm sure Rod could read from his diary and give you 30 reasons of why.
So 13 reasons. Say it right. 13 reasons why, okay?
Yeah. So unfortunately, it is what it is. San Francisco is riddled with injuries. They're starting to get players back, but their defense right now is just not where it should be, not playing at the level that it should be. The Rams are, they gave him an ass whooping last time, and I don't expect them to, especially in a division game, to take their foot off their throat at all.
Well, I want to point out the Rams did not ass whoop the Niners last time. We won. The Niners won last time.
Score might have said differently, but I think we all know.
I'm just telling you, there wasn't an ass whooping. We won. Divisional games are always up in the air, dude. Niners are 3-0 against division teams this year. Don't forget.
Sitting. You are going to sit the Chargers against Pittsburgh. You're getting the trend here. Injuries. You're also going to sit Miami against Buffalo. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? This one was a little bit of a gimme, to be honest. But I mean, for some reason, I still see people starting Miami's defense. I don't know what you're smoking, but please don't. Please don't.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's wild. All right, next we're going to get into some more trade targets. So normally this segment is for X, where X kind of talks about some of his tips and what you should do. But because of how special this week is, which is the trade deadline, we're going to focus mostly on that trade deadline. And X is going to run us through the trades and why it's important and where certain players got picked and why these picks matter and where these picks went. So every week I kind of give you like a buy low, sell high, or do not trade list. So I kind of update it every week. So I'm just going to run through that very quickly. and then X is going to go ahead and I'm going to let him take over and educate the public on what has happened and what the implications of those trades are for the outlook for the rest of the season for those teams. Very quickly, buy low. What I mean by that is that you, as a fantasy owner, want to buy these people for as cheap as you can. Me, as someone who owns these players, means I'm going to sell them higher to you. That's what it means. So some people kind of get confused. Buy low means you need to get them you need to buy them as low as you can, but someone who knows or watches the show is going to want to sell them, because that means if you're buying them low, that means you want them on your team. Okay. Sell high means you want to trade them away while their value's high. I just need a clarification because some people don't understand that. Okay. Buy low. I like Chris Godwin. He's hurt, but he's going to be the number one guy with Mike Evans out. Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Rome. I said buy super low. I think you could buy him at his cheapest right now. I think you absolutely need to jump on that. He's still the receiver 2 there and a Ben Johnson offense. Amiki Ibuka, he still hasn't had his game, so he's still a little low. Travion Henderson, I like him for the rest of the season, so you can buy him really low. David Montgomery, he did a little bit better last week, but I think you can still buy him a little low. And A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's the guy that I like. They didn't trade him, so because they didn't trade him, that means they're going to use him. So because they're going to use him, buy him low. He's going to help you in the playoffs, in my personal opinion. All right, sell high. You're selling high on Jamar Chase. Joe Flacco's hurt. We don't know how long that body's going to be able to hold up. And if Joe Burrow doesn't come back, sell that boy for whatever you can. Justin Jefferson. We don't know if we can trust J.J. McCarthy. Because of that, if you can get something for Justin, sell him. Kyle Pitts, he's hit or miss every year. I'm going to be real with you. He's hit or miss. I think if you can sell him for something, do it. To a team that really needs a tight end, you might be able to get like a RB2 or something, or a receiver 2. Who knows? You never know. RJ Harvey is another guy where he had a really, really good week. I don't know if he's going to do that every week with J.K. Dobbins being there and healthy. So because of that, I think you should sell him while you can. Rashee Rice is another guy where you should sell him high. I sold him really high, not going to lie. And it worked out for me, but he's still very good. It's just if you have the depth, I would sell him. Ashton Genty, he had another game last week. I want to apologize first for that one. I think I told you guys to sit him, and he did pretty decent. But I don't like that team right now in general. I don't think they have great matchups. So if you get a Raiders fan in your fantasy league that really, really wants him, sell him. This is going to be probably the biggest one where I'm going to get a lot of controversy on. Maybe the next 3. Brock Bowers, sell him high. Absolutely sell him high. If you're in a guy, and I'm sorry to call it Bebel like this, if you're a guy like my cousin Bebel who likes to come on the show, and you're like 2-6, 2-7, and you need to figure out a way, sell Brock Bowers, go get you a receiver 1 and a running back 2. Sell him high. He had his best game of the season. I don't think he repeats that. So get something really good for him and get some depth and really use that to make your team possibly have even a shot, a glimpse at making playoffs. Next, Puka Nacua, same reasons. He gets hurt a lot. He's hurt again. I mean, if you can get something out of him and a pretty good player, I'd say why not? This one is going to be kind of like an iffy for me. It's going to be Devontae Adams. I think Devontae is very good, but if Puka's out and it's just Devontae, he's going to get doubled. And that's just kind of the reality of it. So his value is going to go down, especially if you need him in playoffs. And very quickly, my do not trade list, I always talk about the Cardinals running backs. You just don't know. Justin Fields, you just don't know. Tua, he's up and down. Kenneth Walker, he has not had a good season with Jack Charbonnet being there. Ramondre Stevenson, he fumbles the ball a lot. Debo's been having a really bad year. Scary Terry, I don't think it's going to get any better for him when Mariota is his quarterback, so I wouldn't even go there. And Bo Nix, so this is the one that I wanted to talk about. Bo Nix is a great matchup this week. I won't lie to you, he has a great matchup, but if you go look, and I'm actually going to pull it up really quick just so I can be accurate with everybody and tell you the truth, because there was a trade that was going to happen with this guy. Bo Nix, after this game, he plays against the Chiefs. Bye week, he guys. Okay, well, playoffs. I'm just going to go with playoffs. Let's just keep it simplified. Going into playoffs, week 15, he plays Green Bay, he plays Jacksonville, and then he plays Kansas City. I do not like that for him at all. And I think he's going to struggle. So because of that, I would not trade for him. I think if you have him and you could trade him, do it.
I think if you are remembering the tips that your boy was giving you, you should have been seeing that coming.
Yep. And he gave you all the tips and tricks that you've needed every week. And I really think you should go back. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back to our old videos. You can go back on the timestamp and click to this exact spot where X is sitting there telling you the tips and how you should go about the season. So I definitely recommend doing that. All right, X. Trade deadline was, I would say it was moderate. I think there were some good trades. I think there was nothing crazy, right? It wasn't like a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, but we had some pretty decent. We had some decent trades.
There was a couple big ones, but we'll get into that.
I mean, I guess it's real. I'm thinking like the top player in there. I mean, Quinnen Williams is good, but anyways, I digress. I'll let you go ahead and talk about the trade deadline.
All
here
right,
and its
so
implications.
As we're going to talk about this, big thing is going to be draft picks, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how they're thinking about this as your resident trade expert. Even in the NFL world, when it comes to wheeling and dealing, when it comes to business like this, I am a big fan of looking at the big picture. So I'm going to rattle through from September, October, and November, right? Up until the trade deadline. The reason why I'm starting in September is because these picks are relevant and they will make sense as we go. So I'm just going to run through them. Obviously, if I got a comment to make, I'll make a comment. If Rod's got a comment to make, he'll make a comment. And we'll just go through from there. So, in September, you had Philly got running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars and got a 2026 fifth and sixth round pick for him. New Orleans got wide receiver Jalen Polk and 2028 seventh round. New England got a 2027 sixth round. New York Jets got cornerback Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and a 2026 seventh round, and Tennessee got a 2026 sixth round. That one was an interesting trade, but it all makes sense as we continue. Cleveland got a tackle, Cam Robinson, and a 2027 seventh round, where Houston got a 2027 sixth round. Going into October, this was the big one. Cincinnati got quarterback Joe Flacco. And,
who would have known?
And not only did they get Joe Flacco with how that's paying out for them, they also got next year, 2026, a sixth round pick. Cleveland got a 2026 fifth round pick out of that. Leave it to the Browns.
Yeah.
Chargers got defensive end Adafe Owe and and future seventh round pick, where Baltimore got safety Alohi Gilman and 2026 fifth round pick. Jacksonville got cornerback Greg Newsome the second and 2026 sixth round. Cleveland got cornerback Tyson Campbell and a 2026 seventh round. Are we starting to see a little bit of a pattern here? Fifth and sixth and seventh. A lot of switching of picks. We're starting to see a trend here, people. The Rams got Roger McCreary and a 2026 conditional sixth round. And Tennessee got a 2026 conditional fifth round. For those of you who don't know what conditionals are if the player meets a certain condition, aka snap count, or in other situations, if the team goes to the playoffs. Those would be some of the conditions that are set to where this pick would either advance in a pick or drop back in a pick. So just a little education there. San Francisco got DN Keon White and 2027 sixth round, where New England got a 2027 sixth round pick. More swapping picks here. It's very common in the NFL, especially at those lower picks. Pittsburgh got safety Kyle Duggar and 2026 seventh round. New England got a 2026 sixth round. Are we starting to see what teams are starting? New England, Cleveland, the Jets, Tennessee. These are teams, kind of with new coaching staffs, kind of starting to build around their young players. All right, we're figuring it out here, boys, together. Philadelphia got cornerback Michael Carter and a 2027 seventh round New York Jets got wide receiver John Mechie III and a 2027 sixth round. Philly doing a lot of swap pickings to get what they need. Now November. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff, right? Philadelphia got cornerback Jair Alexander and 2027 seventh round. Baltimore got 2026 sixth round. You see what Philly's doing? Philly acquired a lot of these picks, now giving them away to get other players to help them this season. Philadelphia, I love their GM, dude. He is a wheeling and dealing kind of guy. He's the master of it, and I love it. Philadelphia got linebacker Jaleen Phillips, where Miami got a 2026 third round. That's a high pick. Baltimore
because it's good.
got Yep. Baltimore got linebacker Jermont Jones. Tennessee got a 2026 conditional, right? We've been over that. Fifth round pick. Dallas. Now we're going to get into some fun ones. Dallas got linebacker Logan Wilson. Cincinnati got a 2026 seventh round, right? Obviously, Jerry Jones is starting to understand his decision wasn't as great as he thought, and now is trying to bolster up that defense. Jacksonville got wide receiver Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. Las Vegas got a 2026 fourth and sixth round. Solid pick. That Jacoby Myers wanted to be traded. They honored that trade. It was just hard to find a partner who would take them for the asking price that they were going. But Las Vegas also understands that this season is done. So get what you can with what you got. And fourth round pick, pretty good. Pretty good. Indianapolis got cornerback Sauce Gardner. Where what did the Jets get? They got a 2026, 2027 first round and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. That name might sound a little familiar and you're wondering why, man. Why do I know that name? Why does that ring a random bell? Well, that's because that boy was the beginning of a nice little trend of dropping a ball right before you cross the end zone. Yep, that was him. He was the one that started it. That was him.
Yeah.
So in this pick, I talked to my boy, and my boy was a little shocked by it. He was like, bro, that's 2 first round picks. I was like, I get it, dude. I completely understand. Those are huge picks, right? Here's the thing. I've been watching the Colts this season, right? Because of my boy, and I got to talk shit, right? As a Titans fan, that's what I got to do because that's all I have to do because my team sucks. I cracked the code on why this happened. It's very simple because if you have watched any of the Colts games, which I'm pretty sure you haven't, they like to go into zone defense. Do you want to know why coordinators go into zone defense? It's because they're making up for the lack of skill in their secondaries because they cannot afford to go man-to-man coverage, right? Mm-hmm. Which in man-to-man coverage is when you do what? You blitz. You have a lot of blitz packages. Zone blitzes are very methodical and not as successful as man coverage blitzes. So, why did they do this? Secondary for the Colts suck. They understand that they are 7-2. They are making a push for a possible Super Bowl contention. So what do they need? They need to now get players that are going to help them now. Not for the future, now. You have the team now. So you got Sauce Gardner. Why? Because now you have a lockdown corner. That corner can go man. And now that left side outside linebacker is now free to blitz because he doesn't need to help cover. He doesn't need to go into zone. He doesn't need to drop into zone. So now what does that do? That allows Sauce Gardner to go one-on-one with a number one receiver, which he can hold his own against Puka Nacua. Mm-hmm. He can hold his own against Justin Jefferson. He is a superstar cornerback. He's a lockdown. So now that allows your safety to go over the top on the right side to help over the number two, or even fill in at that middle linebacker spot to cover over the tight end and allow your middle linebackers to now blitz. you can now get pressure that Indianapolis has been lacking. And the second I started breaking that down to the boy, you could see it clicking. He started figuring it out. So this was an amazing trade. This was a solid trade.
This is my favorite trade, I think, of the day.
Oh,
when I saw it.
100%.
I mean, yeah, I would say he's a superstar. I guess like when I was thinking it was like big names, defensive ends, right? The guys that we thought were gonna move. But I think this was the best trade, and I think the Colts are very smart. The only thing I think I would have to look up is how many more years does he have on his contract?
So that is also a thing. But here's the thing. My boy brought it up. He's like, hey, dude, like we gave up first round picks. Like we could have passed up on good talent. Here's the problem with first round picks. And I think everybody has seen it before. And the Colts were a witness. Go ahead.
So I just looked it up. For the audience, he's good through 2030. He signed a 4-year, $120 million extension earlier in this year with the Jets, and the Jets already paid him his signing bonus. So the Colts really just got a really good player locked down for a couple of years, 3 years at least, 3.5 years.
Right.
So great.
So going into that first round pick, the reason why, as you know, if I was a Colts fan, I would be okay with this, is because we saw it with who? Anthony Richardson. First round pick. Yeah, that didn't really pan out very well, did it? That was a waste of a first round pick. With that being the case, you now gave up a first round pick for a player who is already proven. You win. You win. He is first round material. So now you took the guessing out of that first round pick. I understand. Trust me, I get it. We're going to have very high first round picks for a while. But the thing about it, though,
like that
I came back to reality. We're going to get you back to reality, too. So the reason why is just that this player's already proven. It's okay to give up first round picks for players that are already proven. It's okay. It's good. Your team is making a Super Bowl push. Let your owner, who the 3 sisters, daughters of Jim Irsay, are now running this. And one of the daughters, the oldest daughter, is actually on the field with the headset, has a play call sheet. She is sitting there. She knows the ins and outs. And I am 100%, whether this was or was not, I'm going to accredit this deal to her, that she understands the needs of her team. She is doing sort of what I would like an owner to do. I don't want an owner to override every single thing, but I want them to understand their football team. If they want to be involved like this, like Jerry Jones, right? Amy Strung from the Titans, when they don't know anything about football and they start putting in their idea and it's my way or the highway, this is what happens. This is what you get. But when you understand your team and you let the people that you pay do their jobs, this is what you get. You get an organization that understands the need of the team. And it's great. It's really good to see.
The only other side comment I wanted to make on this trade is I'm surprised that the Jets didn't trade for like Anthony Richardson, because I know that they were going to try to make him available because he's still very young. He's definitely going to probably need a fresh start. I don't think he finds that with Indianapolis unless something happens to Daniel Jones.
Trust me.
But
once I get to the end of this, it'll 100% make pure sense. And this was a little side thing that I did, a little side mission, a little side quest, if you will, that I did, and it's going to make perfect sense. So
I'll let you run through the rest of it then.
Yes. Seattle got wide receiver Rashid Shaheed.
I like that.
And New Orleans got a 2026 4th and 5th round pick. That boosts Shaheed's fantasy stock a little bit because now they're going to put him in the slot. They're going to keep Cooper Kupp on the outside. Obviously, you got Smith-Njigba on the outside. Yeah, right. Shaheed is going to thrive.
And that boy's fast, bro.
Slot.
He's fast.
100%. Because Smith-Njigba is going to take the middle of the field. Cooper Kupp is going to be your possession receiver at the short yardage. And now you have a slot receiver that's going to deepen that field with speed. They're going to have to choose. And Sam Darnold right now, with the way that he's playing, has the ability to make those reads and do what needs to be done. This is going to be solid for Seattle.
Yeah,
I like it.
agree.
I like it. Chicago got defensive end Joe Tyron Shonika and a 2026 6th-round pick. Cleveland got a 2026 6th-round pick. Next, we got Dallas. Got D tackle Quinnen Williams. New York Jets got D tackle Mozzie Smith and a 2026 2nd-rounder and a 2027 1st round. Once again, 1st-rounders are getting thrown out. Here's the one thing, too. Quinnen Williams, young player. Sauce Gardner, young player. It's okay to give out a 1st round for a young player like that. So don't worry. This is going to be Dallas once again learning. Oh, giving up Michael Parsons wasn't all that great. You got 2 1st-round picks, and now you just gave one away. Yeah. Figured out that move didn't work out too well.
My only issue with it is I like the pickup, but they already had Kenny Clark, who's an all-pro. So they have 2 great defensive tackles that could possibly stop the run, not stopping the outside run, but they didn't fix the defensive end issue. That was the issues. You gave up Micah, and you didn't fix it.
Yeah, and I get that, and I think that's where they tried to substitute with the middle linebacker position. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. Chargers got tackle, even though they just lost Joe Alt. Oh wow, that's so crazy. Trevor Penning, New Orleans got a 2027 6th-round pick. New York Jets got defensive back Jasser Taylor from the LA Chargers, and the LA Chargers got a conditional 2028 7th round. Now, here's what my little side mission was. The New York Jets, 2026, they have a 1st-round pick, another 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and another 2nd-round pick.
Wow.
2027, they have a 1st-round pick, another 1st-round pick, and another 1st-round pick.
Wow, 3 first. Wow.
Tell me the Jets are not in a rebuild without telling me they're not in a rebuild. That is beautiful. Music to my ears. Trading, wheeling and dealing, and building for the future. Understanding that this team needs to find a new identity. We need to move on. Unfortunate that they weren't able to get rid of Breece Hall. Unfortunate, really unfortunate. This is what the Titans should have done. They should have done what the Jets did. The Jets had good players to give away. The Titans already told everybody they weren't giving away Jeffrey Simmons. They weren't giving away Cam Ward. And there was actually multitude of teams that were actually calling for Sweat, our other defensive tackle, which we declined anything on that as well. But this is a prime example of how a rebuild should be. You are understanding that you need to work towards next year. Now, a lot of this is relevant in the sense of trading when it comes to fantasy. I understand that there are, dynasty leagues, right? And this is going to pertain a lot to your dynasty league, right? Then there are redraft leagues every year, right, that everybody goes through. There are even some leagues that do keepers, right? 1 to 2 keepers every single year. The thing about it is that this is what trading looks like. Understanding the situation, understanding the need. Some teams understood the need. Other teams just did weird shit or did nothing. Yeah. Understanding that their season is absolute garbage and shit. So I love a lot of these trades. I love the swap pickings of rounds. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. This is a good, especially in November, is a very good time. If you are trying to look into getting more into wheeling and dealing and trading, look at that November, because that's understanding the needs. The Colts understand that their season is good. So what are they doing? They're saving their season for a potential Super Bowl run. giving up what they need to get it done. It's wow. This is a really good. This is a great format if you're trying to learn about trades. Watch what Philadelphia does as well. This is really good. This year is a very good trading format to look at. So as a trading nerd, I'm gushing over it. I'm gushing over it.
All right. We get our week 10 football bets. Of course, we're going to do money line, over, under, and spread. First game of the week, Thursday Night Football. We got Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 8.5. Usually with a divisional game, I'm hesitant to do that, but the Raiders are so bad that I'm going to take the Broncos at minus 8.5. The total's 41.5, and I'm going to go over just because I think Bo Nix and that offense is going to do very well. X?
I agree, but I'm going to go under. I don't trust the Raiders to do enough.
Interesting. Next game, we got Atlanta versus Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are favored by 5.5. They are playing in Berlin. You know, those Germany-England games all get a little weird. The total is 48.5. So I think I do like the Colts at minus 5.5, but I think I'm going to go under on the total of 48.5 just because it's in another country.
I agree.
All right, next game. New York Giants versus Chicago Bears. Bears are favored by minus 3.5. The total is 48.5. So hear me out. I'm going to go over.
No.
Yes. The Bears defense just gave up a buttload of points to Cincinnati, dude.
No.
Jackson Dart figures it out. It doesn't make sense to me. Don't get me wrong. It does not make sense. It's going to go over 48.5.
If it's a gut feeling, I'll respect it.
This is a gut feeling, but I do think Chicago's going to win by 3.5 for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm definitely going to go under.
All right. Next game. We got Buffalo Bills. Wait a minute, move that over. We got the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. We got the Buffalo Bills favored by 8.5 versus Miami Dolphins. The total's 50.5. I'm going over. Okay. I know.
Dude, what is up with you and overs today?
It's Buffalo. Dude, okay, this is gonna be a weird one for me. I don't even know. I'm going plus money on 8.5. I'm going plus money here. Plus money, 8.5. Yeah, that doesn't mean Miami's gonna win. I think Buffalo wins. Or can we talk? I think Buffalo wins, but I think because Buffalo plays down to their opponents, I just don't think it's that big of a difference. I think the total's going to go over because Miami's due for a bigger game with Tua. So that's the only reason why. It's a gut feeling. But I do think Buffalo wins.
You know what? I hope for the sake of one of my fantasy teams, I hope Tua just slings it. I hope. But I'm definitely going under.
Sure. Okay. Next game, we got New England versus the Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 2.5 points. This is a good game. Oh, man. I don't know.
Dude, what's up with gut 48?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna take under on 48.5. I mean, I like both of their offenses, but I think their defenses are pretty decent too. But I'm gonna take New England at plus 2.5, man. I think New England gets it done. I think the Bucks struggled. They didn't look that
I'm not
good.
Gonna lie. I kind of
I don't know if Bucky's coming back this week or Godwin. So I think I'm taking New England at plus 2.5 this week, and the under on the total. Next game, we got Cleveland versus New York Jets. The Jets are favored by minus 2.5. I don't know after that.
No.
I don't know about now. I think Cleveland might win.
No, Cleveland's winning.
I think I'm going to take Cleveland at plus 2.5. The total at 36.5, though, I think I might have to go under on that. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to be real. Cleveland has a good defense. I don't, yeah, it's weird. Next game, we got Saints versus Panthers. Panthers are favored by minus 4.5. I think that's fair. I think the Panthers will win. If you could take an alternate point spread, I'd say take the alternate point spread at minus 2.5. The total's 39.5. I'm still taking the under on that because I don't trust either of those teams because their offenses have not been good. But I think Carolina gets it done. I think Carolina's the better team and they have the momentum from that Green Bay game. X?
I actually agree with you.
All right. I thought you were going to go different there because you're really riding high on Alvin Kamara this week. So
hey, just because I'm riding high on him doesn't mean, you know.
That's fair. All right. Next game, we got Baltimore Ravens favored by 3.5 versus Minnesota Vikings. The total's 48.5. I'm going over only because we've seen Minnesota give up a lot of points, not this past week, but the week before that. And with Lamar back, I really like Lamar's chances. So I'm taking Lamar at minus 3.5 or the Ravens at minus 3.5. I'm going to go over the total at 48.5. I'm going over. Baltimore Ravens have a bad defense, and Minnesota's had bad defense this year
Okay,
so
that's
far.
fair. All right. Yeah, you sold me.
Okay. Next, we got Jacksonville versus Houston. Houston's only favored by -1.5. And the total's 37.5. I'm going under just because I think it's going to be a backup quarterback for the Texans.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
gonna go
say stay
Jacksonville.
away from this game,
Yeah,
but
it is a
because
division.
CJ's not because CJ's not playing, I think I gotta take Jacksonville at +1.5 because they have Jacoby, and Jacoby's probably gonna play. That's the only reason. That's truly the only reason, but I would stay away. Next game, we got Arizona versus Seattle. Seattle's favored by 7.5 points.
Oof.
I'm going +7.5. I think it's going to be closer than that because it's a divisional game. I can see it like 4-3 point differential. I think Seattle still wins, and the total's 44.5. I'm going to go over on that. I know that's usually I go under on it. I think I'm going to go over on this one. That's only 22
I
points each.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. Next game, we got Detroit. They're playing against the Commanders. Detroit's favored by -7.5. I think you take that all day long. Commanders are absolutely decimated. The total's 50.5. I'm going to go under only because I don't know if Lions are going to score 50. It's the only reason why. Next game, we got the Rams favored by 3.5 versus San Francisco. The total's 49.5. I think that's high. I think it'll be under 49.5 for this particular game. San Francisco's defense is Swiss cheese, but I don't think the Rams, it's going to be that much. But I think for sure the Rams can win. I would say do a differential point spread or an alternate point spread of -2.5, not 3.5, and bet that on the Rams. I think the Rams win this week.
Yep.
Next, we got Sunday Night Football. I sorry, I went ahead because I figured you said yes already.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Next, we got the Steelers versus the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3.5. Sunday Night Football. Ooh, this is a tough one for me because my head says Chargers or my heart says Chargers, but my head says the Steelers only because the Steelers do weird things, but the Steelers aren't at home. I think I'm more just talking out loud here. You know what? Give me the Chargers at -3.5. The total is 44.5. I think it goes under.
I agree with you.
Oh, wow. Okay. And the Monday night game. This is what the thumbnail's based off of. This is, I think, the game of the week. Probably a potential NFC championship matchup waiting to happen in the playoffs. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by -2.5. There ain't no way. Doesn't matter if it's in Lambeau. They just lost to the Panthers in Lambeau. There's no way I'm taking Green Bay at -2.5 against the Super Bowl, the reigning Super Bowl champions, and the fact that they just made a bunch of defensive moves and Jordan Love has not been playing good. So I'm absolutely taking the Eagles at +2.5. The total at 44.5. I'm going to go over, believe it or not. Granted, it's not windy. If it's windy, I'm taking under.
I'm going to go
caveat.
under.
Okay.
I'm going under.
You agree with the Eagles winning them?
Yes.
All right. Next, we got our hot takes. This is a section of some of you are only here for hot takes. So for those of you, welcome to the hot take section. This is just some of the things that X and I kind of spitball back and forth with each other and kind of just talk it out. And sometimes it's just a statement. Like, sometimes I say, hey, Jake May's the guy, and that's kind of it. That's all I wanted to say. So first hot take I got is, can the Ravens win their division with Lamar back? X, what do you think?
I would say, yeah, I would say it's possible. Lamar Jackson has that much energy and potential to make it possible. So, yeah, I would say so.
So just to let the audience know, the Steelers are 5-3, the Ravens are 3-5, and the Bengals are 3-6, and the Browns are 2-6. So I think it's still pretty close. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won, in my opinion. But I think with Lamar back and the division still being very close, there is a very fair chance that they can. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I wanted to know, because I know Ravens fans were a little worried there for a second with Lamar not being there. But the division's still up for grabs. And then I kind of just wanted to talk about some big injuries for some teams. So, you have teams like the Niners. You have teams like the Packers who just lost Tucker Kraft. You have teams like the Commanders who just lost Jaden Daniels, and that's kind of it. They have Marcus Mariota now. What do these teams need to do? I mean, the Packers obviously still have a shot at going to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. They have a good defense, or they can have a good defense, I should say. The Niners, I mean, I'll just use these three teams for example. What can the Niners do? I mean, I think they needed to make some moves at the trade deadline, which didn't happen, in my opinion. Is there anything else they can do, or is this kind of like they're going to be a one and done in the playoffs this year?
I think it's just going to be a one and done, and I think they know that. I think fans have accepted that for the most part. I think all they can do is just rely heavily on on their their stars, really. So you just got to rely on Kittle. You got to rely on McCaffrey. And I mean, you paid the boy a lot of money, so you got to rely on Purdy. You just
Well,
got to get it done.
he ain't
You just
playing.
got to
He's
rely on
hurt.
him. That's all you could
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And then what about for a team like the Commanders, where, I mean, you just lost your star quarterback. Everyone's hurt. Scary Terry's hurt. Debo hasn't been doing good. You lost Austin Eckler. You traded away Brian Robinson to the Niners. I mean, what do they do at this point? They didn't really make any trades. So it's like, is there anything
At
they
this
can
point,
do?
I think as a coach, what you're looking at this as is I'm seeing what my depth is of my chart.
Hmm,
I'm
got
looking
it.
at this is essentially preseason now, where you're looking at, players and what they can bring to the table. You never know, right? With Dowdle, right? You ended up finding a star out of nowhere. So, I mean, you know, if I was the Commanders, you're looking at depth right now, and you're looking at who you got and potential stars, potential starters down the line.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I just thought I'd ask you and let you
Yeah.
share with the audience your thoughts.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Who do you think won at the trade deadline, in your opinion? Just one team. Just you can just blurt it out. You can
Colts,
say why too if you want.
100%.
Why is that? Just the sauce.
Uh, I mean, Sauce Gardner is enough, dude. Like Sauce Gardner is enough. I think I think another runner up, and I understand that, uh I saw a couple of reports where the analysts were giving, the Jets a bad grade. They gave him like a D plus for the trade with Sauce Gardner and with
Hmm.
everything that they were trading away. But I read off that list of how many picks they have, dude. They did exactly what they needed to do.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I would say that the Jets are also a close number one next to the Colts on what they did.
So for me, it's actually the Eagles. I think because they got those key pieces that they needed for that
Yeah.
defense, and I
No,
think
that's
they're going to be very good. I
yeah.
don't. I don't. I think after this past week, we'll get into some pretenders and contenders, but I think after this past week, they filled those voids that they needed, and I think their strong defense is what's going to make them be Super Bowl contenders, in my personal opinion. Uh, Next, this is a fun one. Green Bay lost to the Panthers. What is going on in Green Bay? Why is Green Bay rising to the occasion? Right, we talk about it with the Bills and some of these other teams,
Yeah.
and they're beating some of these better teams. But when they play like these, in my no offense, but these boo boo ass teams, they're losing. Like they tied the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are not very good. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. They lost to the Panthers. Like, what is happening?
Like I said, dude, that offense is just in disarray, and I don't understand why the receivers can't stay healthy. The receivers can't get separation. Like it's just they have a really good running back. Their defense can only do so much if their offense is constantly going three and out and not doing anything. And honestly, at this point, you need to do what the Titans did when they had Derrick Henry and just rely on your running back.
And I think that's an absolute fair thing. I think they need to
Yeah.
figure out a way. I noticed in a couple, not this past week, but the week before, I know, well, one, I noticed they take out Micah quite a bit. I don't know if it's like a conditioning thing or if they just want to make sure he doesn't get
Mhm.
hurt. But two, I've noticed that when Micah lines up behind the nose guard, that he's doing very good.
Yeah. Because
So
the linemen essentially have to make a choice. We're either gonna double team this D tackle and then you let Micah go free, which they're normally not going to do. So what that does is that now creates either the center or the guard is going to have to essentially pick, all right, well, we got to go one on one now. So now that leaves Micah on a one on one and he's not getting double teamed. So
right.
that's what allows that pressure.
The next one I got is the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. What do they do at this point? Mind you, I made this question before the trade deadline, so I will
Right.
say that I do like that they went and got Quinnen Williams. I think for the future, that's great because he's still under contract. I
Yep.
think I
They
like
got their
that.
old D tackle now.
Yeah, and they got the middle linebacker, and I think that's going to help them. But I think more what I'm focusing this question on is, are these changes actually going to help them? Like, do they have a shot, a true, honest shot at making the playoffs this year? And I kind of want to run through this real quick. Apologize to the audience because they're probably going to see all this. just because I don't want to cut it, but I'm going to tell them straight up. Here's the teams that they have left to play for the rest of the season. They have the Raiders on the 17th. I think
Easy.
that's fine. You're right. Then they got the Eagles.
Hard.
They got the Chiefs. They got the Lions. They got the Vikings. They got the Chargers. And then they have the Commanders and the Giants. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
They have Killers
That's
Row
the
right there.
wor-
5 playoff teams.
That's the
And then they have
gauntlet,
Commanders and
dude.
Giants. I think the Giants game will be a toss-up for them.
That's a gauntlet right there, boys.
So
My
is there
goodness.
anything at this point, like as of today, going into week 10 on their bye week, is there anything they can do? I mean, they did the defensive, like as far as like not trades, but
Right.
like, is there an honest, like, do you really think they can make the playoffs at this point, even though they just made all these trades?
I think they can, but they'll get a wild card spot if that. But what they need to do is they need to take this time, get these new defensive players straight into the schemes straight away. And nonetheless, too, right now, rest. Like rest up as much as possible because you are about to go through. I mean, you're jumping out of the oven into the frying pan, dude. It's not get easier. So just rest up, get yourself right, and understand that you're about to go through hell months at this point.
Yeah. The next one I got for you is, do the Jets start Justin Fields this week? So granted, now that we know they're in a rebuild, I don't think it's a big secret. You know, do they let Tyrod Taylor go out there, or are they going to just stick with Justin Fields until the wheels fall off? And I mean, he did get them their first win. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would say just stick with him because I still think he gives you the best opportunity to win. Doesn't mean that he does get that win, but I think he gives you the best opportunity out of the situations that's there. And I think right now, what you do is just you have him try and develop rapport with the receivers a little better come game time and run Brees Hall till the wheels fall off. And same thing with the Cowboys as well. Same thing with the Cowboys. And it's coming up on my hot take of where I'm going to start catting out here.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So the next question I have for you, and this is the one I've actually really been looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. What NFC teams or NFC and AFC teams are pretenders this year? So I want to tell you what the current playoff situation is like, just based off the current standings. Obviously, I know we're going into week 10. So for the AFC, you got the Colts at the top. You got the Patriots, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Bills, the Chargers, and the Jags. And for the NFC, you got the Eagles, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, Rams, Niners, Lions.
So let's start AFC.
Sure.
AFC,
you go ahead and say your team, like your pretenders, and then I'll go ahead and say my team, who I think is the biggest pretender in that division.
Pretenders for the AFC are going to be Jacksonville for sure. And run them through again one more time.
We got Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Jags. I would say just pick one. That way I have an option to say one.
Yeah. I would say Jacksonville. I think the AFC South is one of the weakest divisions. Jacksonville, even though, they got Jacoby Myers, that's not going to solve their problems, in all honesty. Jacksonville right now, I think one of their big issues is there is a player gap, but I think there's a big.
I forgot to add a couple teams. So I want to give you the whole landscape here. So let me take that back. So after the Jaguars, because we're forgetting teams, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Ravens, the Bengals. I'm not going to talk about Raiders, Browns, Dolphins, Jets, or Titans at this point. I think it's fair. So remember, the Chiefs are still not in this bubble. I just wanted to give you the more options.
I'm still going to run with Jacksonville. I'm still going to run with Jacksonville. Just because I think it's also a coaching gap as well.
Okay.
I don't think that their coaches are going to be able to go against these coaches that have a lot of experience, and I think they're just going to get out coached nonetheless with the player gap.
Yeah. So I would say as of today, so making this, I was going to say the Colts after watching them lose to the Steelers, but I think with the addition of Sauce, I think that's going to be a game changer for them. I don't know how much quite yet. I would like to see them, because once you get into the playoffs, it's a whole nother animal. Because I don't care what seed the Chiefs are in, they're always a Super Bowl contender if they're making the playoffs. So it doesn't matter if they're 6th or 7th seed, in my opinion. honestly, I mean, I think I'm gonna pick one of those bigger teams. My head wants to say Chargers just because of the injuries, but I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna go the Steelers just because I think the
they were
Steelers
going to
will
be my
make the
next
playoffs.
pick. They were going to
Yeah,
be
I
my
think the
next pick.
Steelers will
Yeah,
make it, but I don't see them going very far. Mike Tomlin
I
has been a
agree.
one and out kind of guy here for the last couple of years, and I think
Yeah,
that streak's going to continue. I think unless the Steelers have a really great matchup against like a Jacksonville or maybe like a Chargers or one of these teams that are hurt, I think they might have a shot. Maybe the Bengals, just with how bad their defense is. But I mean, you still got to remember you have the Ravens and the Chiefs that are still potentially going to get and sneak into these playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, in my opinion, if that
yeah,
makes sense there. But for sure, I would say as far as Super Bowl odds, to me, the Steelers are pretenders. I don't see them as contenders for that.
I agree.
Next, we got the NFC. So we got the Eagles, the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Rams, the Niners, the Lions, the Bears, the Panthers, the Vikings, Cowboys, Cardinals. I don't know if I want to say Falcons, Commanders, Giants, or Saints. I'm gonna go first on this one because I'm gonna just be straight up about it. I think the Niners are probably the biggest pretenders here on this list, only because yes, it's the team that I like, so that's why I wanted to say it. I didn't want X to rub it in my face. I'm gonna be fully transparent. I just think the Niners are so injured that they're going to be a one and done playoff team if they even have the shot to make it. And I mean, they very much well can still win the division because they're weird like that and they have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. But because of their injuries and the lack of everyone not playing, Brock Purdy's not there. I just don't think they can go very far without their key guys like Fred Warner, Mikael Williams, and Nick Bosa, and all the other defensive players that they lost in free agency last year. So that's for me who I think is the biggest pretenders on that list. X, who do you think is the biggest NFC pretender in your opinion?
For me, it's the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
I don't think that they are. They might be AFC wild card ready, but they
NFC.
or NFC, sorry, NFC wild card ready, but nowhere past that. If they get past that, like kudos to you, but they wouldn't go any bit farther, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. The next one I just wanted to make a statement just because it's fun. I go, Geno Smith and the Raiders suck. And if you don't know, now you know. I won't say the last part. They are trash. Then they are garbage, and I honestly kind of feel bad for the fans. I got two more for you. I say to ask you every week. I'm going to ask you again as playoffs start getting closer and the Super Bowl gets closer. Who is the best team in the NFC and who is the best team in the AFC? And now that you have all these trades that have happened, has your prediction for the Super Bowl changed? And if so, what is it?
No, for the Super Bowl question, best team in the AFC is still the Colts. Uh, best in the NFC, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I agree with you there. The Colts, I still want to see. I still want to see what it looks like with Sauce on the team, and if they can still
So
get it going
the
because
one
they did just lose to the Steelers. So
right, the one thing I will say about the Colts that does strike me in worry is that whenever the Colts play a really good team and definitely a playoff team, they seem to fold a lot. So now that they have a good corner, I want to see if they stray away from this zone defense and see what they do.
well, I think when they play the Chiefs, that'll be the real matchup of how well they're
Oh, for sure.
anticipate how well they're going to do against a team
Oh, for
who
sure.
is a Super Bowl contender almost every year.
But
And the
I
last
think
one because
if
you,
anything,
huh?
that'll be a interesting way to see how their coaching staff operates.
Right,
That'll be the big thing.
yeah, and a very good team. They're definitely going to make
Yeah.
playoffs one way or another.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
making playoffs. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
No.
last one I got for you, and it's we always got to bring him up. We got to do it for the content. Got to do it for the boy Hayden or H, and it's week 10 now. Week 9 was the Cleveland bye,
No.
and Stefanski
No.
doesn't want to start Shador.
No.
They just I don't know. Are we going to see Shador? Is it going to be Shador time
Nope.
this year? Like
Nope.
this year in general, are we going to see him at all
Nope.
this year? You
Nope.
don't think so? Why is that?
Maybe last game when the third stringers and looks like a preseason game, maybe. But no, I don't think so. I think 100% as a coaching staff, I think they're doing the right thing and they're humbling him. They're 100% humbling him. And even if it doesn't have that effect of humbling him, then guess what? I guess they're making him hungrier, and maybe he'll be that much more ready to prove people wrong, whatever the case may be. But that dude, no.
So I was listening to Speakeasy. It's like as it sounds in its name, like a speakeasy kind of setup. It's Ocho, it's LaShawn McCoy. Sometimes they have a guest and they have their host. I forget his name. But one of the questions that was asked today is, what's going to happen first? Shador Sanders playing or Kevin Stefanski getting fired? So in your opinion, what's going to happen first?
Shador Sander plays.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think the opposite. I think we won't see Shador play until Stefanski's fired, in my opinion. I don't think he gives him a shot. He doesn't like the kid.
Well, of course he doesn't, and he shouldn't. But regardless, I mean, a GM or a president can always override him. They don't have to fire him to override him. They could just say, you're going to do this. And just like everybody else, how we enjoy our job and enjoy our money, we will do it. So
do you, okay, I'll ask you one more thing. Do you think that Dylan Gabriel is their best shot at winning? I think I asked you that last week. I'll ask you again. Does Dylan Gabriel give them the best shot at winning right now? Honestly. As from a morale standpoint and from a physical, like, football standpoint.
I think from a football standpoint, yes. I think from a fan standpoint, they might say no. But I think when you are a player and you're out on the field and you're watching your, your quarterback out there dancing, like not taking anything seriously, why from a football standpoint would you want to follow that guy at all? Why would you think him a leader? As a quarterback, whether you want to be or not, you are a type of leader. That's just, it comes with the territory of the position. And Dylan Gabriel obviously takes his job seriously enough, I'll say. I don't watch interviews with him or anything like that. But Shador, everything to him is entertainment. Everything to him is Hollywood. So, no, why would a grown-ass man follow this kid who can't get his priorities straight? I wouldn't. No other man would. No other veteran would at all.
Well, I think maybe we need to bring H on as he pops in. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be wild, huh? I've been holding him here for 2 hours.
Right.
I think, I don't know. I think with what Myles Garrett is saying, granted, it is his own fault. He chose to not take the franchise tag and become an unrestricted free agent and to take the money and be there. But I do think, in my personal opinion, based on what I've seen in college, yeah, I do glaze Shador a little bit. I did like him out of college. I personally do think he'd do better than Cam Ward's doing right now. It's nothing against Cam Ward. Cam Ward's very talented. I just think he's in a bad situation.
I agree.
And Shador obviously has had more experience with being in a bad situation, playing in Colorado with a not so good team in college.
Right.
I just think with that current situation, that I think Shador gives them that chance to win. I think he is a better, or I'll say he's a more accurate passer. I believe he's a little bit taller. And I believe coming out of college, he was a better prospect. And I think because of that, I do think his dad, I think his just shenanigans, there are some shenanigans, right? But I do think there's a lot of different things that encompasses him. Yes, I think it's more of like, for you, it's like the media side of things where you're like, vet players, media, you don't like it. For me, it's like maybe Myles Garrett wants a guy to at least have a shot. Maybe he's calling for some kind of change at this point because Dylan Gabriel's not going to get it done. Dylan Gabriel's throwing subpar 200 yards a game sometimes. So is that going to win you a game? Probably not. But then we have to ask the question, are the Cleveland Browns even trying to win a game? I mean, I don't know, right? So, maybe this is something that I actually ask H and see if he actually wants to come on, because I think it'd be interesting to see his perspective of what's going on with the Cleveland, as him being a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. for some strange reason, and I think we'll just leave it at that. So,
yeah.
X, what do you got for me on some hot takes this week?
The only one thing I got is the one thing that I've been preaching for the past 2 weeks, which is I don't understand why these coaching staffs are not feeding their running backs. Cowboys lose. Wonder why they lost. Just take a wild guess. I don't know, because Javonte Williams only had 15 carries. You stupid. For the sake of not getting our video flagged.
They were getting wrecked, though. There's a reason why he wasn't getting the ball. They were down a lot early.
15 carries? You telling me that only happened in the first quarter? No way. No way. No way. I don't care if that boy has a fumbling problem. The boy's winning you games every single time you've won. What happens, huh? Colts lost. Wonder why they lost. Jonathan Taylor didn't even have over 10 carries. Huh. Wonder what the stupid... I'm trying not to get this video flagged. I'm really trying not to, dude. Crazy.
You said bitch Absolute 30 madness. Times. It's going to get flagged.
That's because Shedeur Sanders is a bitch. But that's a whole different subject.
I'm leaving that in, just so you know.
I don't care. Go ahead, dude. I needed to get at least one out. But the problem is, though, is these running back committees are not working. Okay? They're not, dude. Like, I don't understand why every single week I have to come on here. Like, no coach ever says, establish the pass game so we can establish the run. No coach ever says that. Like, from the very beginning, from Pee-wees, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you're not doing that, dude. You establish the run, dude. Like, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree.
They're idiots. They're all idiots, and I don't understand, like, why you just won't give the ball to your running back. Like, just look back, dude. I'm not even a guy that holds statistics to a holy grail. I'm really not. But holy crap, dude, statistics are even telling you, if you give these players 20 plus carries, you win the game. 25 plus carries, you win the game. You understand that 25 plus carries does not mean you're running the ball the entire game. That does not mean that. It does not mean it at all. But what the run
look at Rico this week. That's a perfect example of it. Right.
Oh, that's so weird. Did they win?
Not splitting carries. Yeah.
Did they win?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who would have thought?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. You give your running back more than 20 carries, all of a sudden you win. Wow. That's so crazy.
I think people need to start they need to clip this and go send it to these NFL GMs and these coaches and be like, hey, somebody needs to talk to these guys.
I would win myself an offensive coordinator job. I would win myself an offensive coordinator job at this point. Holy shit.
I mean, to be fair, I think the Browns need one.
The Titans need one, dude. Oh my gosh. Man. Like, dude, just give the ball. Just hand the ball off. Hand the ball off. You want to know what you do? Hand the ball off and play action. Wow. There you go. I cracked the code, dude. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's so simple. I don't understand, dude. I don't understand the idiocracy that is running around this place, dude. It's insane to me.
I agree.
Dude, just hand the fucking ball off, dude. Just hand the ball off. It's not that hard.
I think we do need to add. Go ahead.
Your fucking quarterback will love it, dude. Offensive linemen love to run the ball, dude. Guess what? Your quarterback just gets to sit there like Aaron Rodgers and just, hey, you know? Who the fuck cares? Just give him the fucking ball. It's insane, dude. It's insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Oh my God. I was going to say, sorry, you cat yourself out on your own. It's great. You're not even like trying to, like, I was trying to get you at Anthony Richardson and you just got mad. And I want to tell the audience, it's a caveat because he had Javonte Williams. He lost because of Javonte Williams.
Tyrone Tracy too. I lost because of him.
I tried telling you last week and you didn't listen to me. I told you. That's a fraud. I told you he wasn't doing anything there. I told you that. And you did not listen to me. I said he's on my waiver wire pickup, but be cautious with him because he didn't do good beforehand. He's not a Cam Scatabo. That's exactly what I told you. You can go back and clip it. Hey, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Let us know what you think about our hot takes. I know X catted out at the end there. It was pretty great. I'm going to leave a lot of that in. So let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. You can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Hey, we're all about constructive criticism here. We got, hey, you need to fix your lighting. X got some lighting after a couple months.
I got
some lighting.
I got told I needed better than a lantern and candlelight, so
Right.
I upgraded to the
And
21st century, and now I'm blind after this. Good for
but
me.
hey, we're all about feedback. We appreciate you letting us know. Maybe you don't like our picks. Please go ahead and let us know in the comments. Everybody know about the founders edition of our membership. That's for the first 100 people. Just so you know, it's starting to dwindle down. People are being added to the Discord every day. So please go ahead and hop on that train. It's only 99 cents a month. It'll be the best 99 cents that you've ever spent. I promise. Cheaper than a bag of chips, cheaper than a pack of gum.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be worth it for you to get that dub. All right, everybody. Until next time, thanks for sticking around. Peace.
Later.